Okay, there we go. We got the 701 started up. Okay, we're here at Mexico Memorial Airport, this is 701, December 13, 2018. Right now we've got about 1,800 foot ceiling. The wind is out of the east, about 2 to 3 miles an hour, maybe 4, as you can notice the windsock over there. So it's not a gusty day, windy day to do short performance, so we're going to show you what a 701 can do on virtually no wind day. I do have fuel. Fuel is almost full, so we're not light on fuel either. And we have the Rotax 912S, which is a 100-horse Rotax. A lot of customers either putting in the 100-horse or the 80-horse. I'd say the ideal engine for the 701 is the Rotax. It's got a lot of torque there because of the gearbox versus, using, let's say, a direct drive, something like, the Continental, Jabber, Rotax, or UL Power, any of those, you're going to get definitely better short takeoff performance than the Rotax. Be neat to see the 701 with the new Rotax set that they're coming at 915. That would be really interesting. So a lot of customers are putting in the 912S and making a fuel injection with the big bore. Doing that, I don't know much about it, but that'd be very interesting too. Pretty much stock gauges. This airplane was built in '98. I've got almost 2,100 hours. We originally started with the 80-horse engine. Now I have the 100-horse. 100-horse, I've got about 500-600 hours. Virtually maintenance-free on the engine and airframe. It's just a great combination. We do have a few options now. We've started with in the last few years. We've got the new flap handle. Maybe I'll show you guys the new flap handle, and it doesn't come in the kit, but it's an option. It's very push one pin, pull it, or push it, and then or raise the flaps. And we got that idea from, we call it the cube flap handle. A customer out in California that built a couple airplanes out in California, and we got permission to use his design and give him the credit for his design. And then we've got another option that we've started on the 701 is we got the streamlined struts. The streamlined struts is standard on the 750 and the Cruiser, and we decided to try the streamlined struts on the 701 about a year ago. And we have it as an option kit. You can either get it as with the full kit or order the streamlined struts for your existing flying 701. And what I found out is I gain about 7 miles an hour at the same RPM setting that I would with the standard struts. So you can, burn less fuel, less RPM, and maintain the same speed if you like. You don't want to spend a ton of money or time to try to make the 701 a faster airplane, but you just want to gain a few miles an hour, and it looks a lot nicer too with the streamlined struts. So that's another option. Main thing is make the 701 simple and light. Okay, we're going to line up here. We're just going to let the Rotax warm up a little bit. I do have an oil, I can close the oil cooler door, so my oil will heat up a little bit faster. You could put a thermostat on it, but I like to keep it simple. Pull the lever, closes the air going to the oil cooler. Now we're going to do a run up about 4,000 RPM, check each ignition. We're going to go to the right first, just a little bit of drop, go back to both, go to the left. Alrighty. Check the controls clear and free, clear and free. We're going to lower the flaps about 3/4. I've got 3 notches, or actually 4 notches off. Notch 1, notch 2, notch 3, and notch 4. And full flaps is 15 degrees, but they're flap on, so you have the whole section dropping, so you have a lot of surface area, not a lot of control. Well, water's up to 180. I like the oil to get up a little bit. In the wintertime, it's very hard to oil to get up very high until you actually get full RPM. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to show you techniques and how to take off and land short. Maybe I'll do a couple, extreme takeoffs and landing. Then I'll kind of show a couple and demonstrate, talk you through it for the guy that's got 60, 70 hours and they want to learn a little bit more on the edge of their 701 and venture out of the the comfort zone of like a 150. We are going to do it on the runway here. We've had quite a bit of rain here, and it's kind of muddy everywhere, so I don't want to venture off in the mud and everything. But typically this airplane is meant for being off-field. So what I like to do on a short takeoff is I like to lower about 3/4 of flaps. Full flaps, I really don't notice much more advantage of full flaps versus 3/4 or even half. So we'll just keep it at 3/4. What I like to do is I like to have the stick all the way back, brakes on, and then I release, and then the nose will come up instantly, and then what I'll do is I'll move the stick more towards the neutral setting, and then let it fly right on off, get an altitude or an attitude where I can see over the nose, but still get 800 to 1,000 foot climb. Definitely climb faster than that, but I like to see over the nose sometimes just in case the birds or other aircraft in the way. Okay, so what we're going to do, we've got the flaps down, got fuel's on, add power, power's on, release, sticks back, the nose comes up, and just let it fly right off. And that's all it is. And it happens so fast that you just don't even have to have time to really visualize and look at the airspeed indicator. You need to keep your head outside the cockpit and keep focused on flying the airplane. And we're not going to do anything too drastic. We're just going to do some steep turns here. Keep everything positive. You always look for a landing spot. And if you do lose your engine, you need to keep your nose down, keep that airspeed up so you have enough airspeed to airflow over that elevator and round out. And we're going to do setup for a landing here. So set up for a landing, we're going to bring back power, get it in the right arc, start lowering the flaps, and we're going to lower the flaps. And we're going to maintain about 45 to 50, and we're going to start adjusting power and pitch and trying to land short. Mainly you want to keep the nose off the runway. And we're about 45. And bring the nose up and the power. I just showed you how easy it is to keep that nose off the runway. And, a lot of customers ask, why do I want a tricycle aircraft or a bush flying or out on the grass strips? And I just showed you there that my nose will never touch the ground either on takeoff or landing. And, if it's a rough field, then you turn the engine off and pull it by hand to taxi up to the hangar or the river bars or whatever. But, I'm actually acting and working it like a tail dragger. The advantage of a tricycle like we have here, I could be coming in a mountain strip, and mountain strips has a lot of wind, crosswinds, terrible winds. And I can come in there with 40-mile-an-hour winds, crosswind, and I can handle it. Whereas you get some guys with tail draggers, they're not going to want to do that. So you might have more opportunities to go into that strip than you would as a tail dragger. I'm always adjusting pitch and power. I start developing a sync rate, I'm going to add a little power. If I'm coming in too hot, I'm going to start creating a little bit more pitch or sync rate. Now the first few times that you fly your 701 and you're doing a little bit extreme takeoff and landing, you're not going to be used to seeing anything out front. The whole front end is really going to start blocking when you start bringing that nose up. I mean, extreme angles. Typical in landing, you're fine, but when you start bringing that nose up, it's really going to touch your visibility. And I just kept the flaps down on that takeoff, and I'm keeping it in the white arc area, which is 60 miles an hour. And you got to respect that design. That's what Chris came up with when he designed the 701. Is the flap speed is at 60 miles an hour. As you can tell, I'm not doing anything that a low-time pilot couldn't handle themselves. And that's the nice thing. You don't have to go extreme to learn these things. Just have to be able to, you know, feel the airplane, keep your eyes outside the cockpit. And, you know, if you guys can see the windsock over there, it's limp. It's just a few miles an hour maybe when that's it. And I'm, you know, not at gross weight, but I am actually, you know, pretty close to it. Look, I'm keeping that nose off. Look at that, look at that. You know, and that's a good practice because let's say you're on a sandbar or a river bar, a rocky area, and you know, you want to kind of feel how it feels, keep a little bit of power, keep that nose up, and then if you need to take right back off, just do it. Maybe we can show you guys a little bit of, we'll land over here in the field a little bit and see if we can see how that feels. We won't touch down because I know it is muddy, so we'll keep a little bit of power in. And we do have the, you know, this is the 701, we do have the, you know, the 750, the 750 Cruiser, and now our Super Duty. You know, the bigger the airplane you get, which is the 750, 750 Super Duty, you are going to create, you know, it's going to take a little bit longer to take off, a little bit, you know, but you can actually carry more baggage and people. The 750 Super Duty, it's a three-person, 2,000 or 1,900 pound gross weight. So, you know, yes, it can't take off as short as a 701, but the 701 can't carry as much as a Super Duty. As you can see, the fields are all wet, all mud, water, so we're just gonna feel ourselves and see what it feels like. I don't want that nose gear to stick down in mud. You know, a tail dragger would be the same way. You wouldn't want that tail wheel to get stuck in the mud. We're just going to come down here and just kind of see what it feels like. And we're going to keep that nose off the runway. I'm feeling, keep power. See, there you go. Keep that nose off. We're feeling it, looking at the side, checking everything out, and then you might do that 2 or 3 times before you actually set out. You're trying to learn if you see anything that's going to keep you from landing, and not only landing, but taking off again. So when you're coming in a short strip, you want to do several touch and goes or flybys to check everything out. The landing's the easy part. It's the takeoff. You know, these airplanes can land short, but you got to have enough room to take off. This is a little bit steeper. Next thing you got to watch out for is landing in fields that you don't know of like this is, you know, holes for coyotes. There's a hole right there. Because they'll suck you right in. So we did our low pass. Just to visualize, kind of get a reference of, you know, what the grass field looks like. See if we notice any humps or bumps. And coming around again, we'll get the mains on the grass, and we'll see how it is. And I've never landed in this spot here, and I know it's very rough. It's they mow it with a big tractor, which is still it's doable to land in, but there could be big ruts or coyote dens, holes, and we got badgers, so. So this is our second time around. We'll get the main wheels on the runway, on the grass, and then we'll keep that nose off and then probably just do a touch and go. That feels pretty good. I feel the ripples of the tractor. And it looks good. Keep everything positive. Always have a place to go. Engine quit, plan straight ahead. And I've got Sebastian down there. He's doing a little videoing for me too, and it looks like he's moving. So we'll see what he's wanting to see. I hit the runway a little sooner than I was wanting to, and lost a little bit of depth perception, and sunk a little bit where I thought I was going to. So that's one thing you have to, visualize and feel, and be ready to adapt to it. Maybe this time we'll just do a kind of a flyby and get a picture of us flying. We'll fly by. There's the windsock. It might be 3 mile an hour. That's it. So just want to let everybody know that we're not doing this in a 30 mile an hour wind. Hit it. There's a big old bump there. What it was is there probably a coyote did at one time and they threw the dirt out and that was left over of it. Alright, so let's do a little demonstration for our customers. Okay, so we're going to set up on the downwind. What I like to do is I like to beam the numbers. I'll bring that power to almost idle. Bring up the nose. We lead off the airspeed to the right arc, which is 60 miles an hour, and start lowering my flaps. And you can lower them all the way. That way you don't have to mess with them when you're on final. Or you can add a little bit now and a little bit on final. From now on, you want to keep the nose down. You don't want to develop a high sink rate at this point. And what we're going to do is we're going to set up approach. Approaching right now is be a good starting for most customers. It'd be about 50 to 55. You want to keep that nose down until you're almost ready to flare and level out and then start bringing the nose up. So we're going to start bringing the nose level. See, we're level right now. And then start adding a little bit of power. We're at about 3,000 RPM. So just let it settle. Bring the nose back. And right there. Just let it keep that power. Do not bring the power all the way back until the main wheels touch. Main wheels touch. Chop the power. Keep on bringing the stick back as slowly as you can. If you bring it back too fast, then you're going to pop up in the air and it's going to be a bad day for you because you're going to react to chop the power and you're going to develop a high sink rate. So let's do that again. We're going to bring the flaps up. We're taking off. And we're going to go around again. Okay, we're beating the numbers, getting close. Okay, beat the numbers. Pull power back to idle. Ease the stick back. Wide arc. Flaps. Okay, we'll have one more notch for the flaps and start our descent. Once you start your descent, you can typically start turning for base and final. There's no reason to go way out there. You do have a draggy airplane, so it's going to take a while for you to get back in if you do a Cessna approach. Plus, you want to stay close just in case you have new engine problems or anything. Okay, so we're base here. I'm going to go ahead and lower the rest of the flaps. Flaps all the way down. Okay, we're going to keep the pitch, our attitude just about like this, our angle. We're at 60, we're great, we're below the flap speed, we're getting close to 55, there we go. And 52, we're going to keep this power setting at about 3,000 is a really good pitch, or power setting for beginners. And we're going to keep it pretty flat. And once we get close to the runway, we're going to start easing back the stick a little bit. Ease back stick, and then chop the power. And as you guys can tell, I mean, I didn't do anything extreme. Something that a very low time pilot can be able to do with just a couple of landings learning. Just got to keep your head outside that cockpit and be ready to add power or reduce power.